Okay, we are live. Hi, my name is Mr. Cooper. This is Mr. Ferraro. For those of you who are going to be seniors in Valhalla, you know us. But if you're just a guest watching and wanting to learn a little bit about the college essay, you are also welcome. We're currently going live. There is a Q&A session set up. I don't know how to use it, but if you know how to use it, great. After the video, please post any questions or comments below, and we will try to answer them as quickly as possible. And today is basically our first video in our series entitled The College Essay. And we wanted to talk a little bit about getting started. So, Mr. Ferraro, are there any thoughts you'd like to start with?
Absolutely. Welcome, and thank you for taking time out of your summer. I'm sure this is the #1 thing that you want to be doing right now is watching the two of us pretty much from the torso up. I think it's a great angle for both of us. Welcome to this. This is an idea now that is basically to kind of help your life, believe it or not. Try to get to your college essay in the hands of guidance and then college a little bit earlier. It seems absurd to have an essay due, September 1st or October 1st, but everything just keeps getting moved up, and as you approach your senior year, this is going to hopefully make your life a lot easier. Thanks for having me on, Mr. Cooper.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for the idea. This is a good idea to set up a YouTube channel. And thank you to Google for inventing this awesome application in Google Hangouts and letting us go live.
You actually look excited.
I am excited. It's a good day. I'm looking forward to this for my summer. I don't know about you. You can speak for everybody else, but not for me. I'm looking forward to these videos all summer long in our 30-part series.
It's definitely a good bonding opportunity between the two of us.
Yes, that too. So, we'll address the Common App questions a little later in the series, but the idea is getting started and picking a topic. And I think this is important to consider because a lot of people, when they want to do their college essays, they just kind of write an all-about-me essay. I do this, I do this, I do that. In the 5th grade, I won the spelling bee, and try to cram too much in. And that, I think, only serves to reiterate what's already in the application. So what you want to do with the college essay is come up with something that's, gives you a little more of a personal side, a little more insight into you, and narrow it down to, maybe one event or one particular topic. I like to think of it as your college essay would be a chapter in a memoir. If you were to write a memoir and every chapter is a different event that you focus on, this could easily be put into your memoir. What do you think of that, Mr. Farrow? What's your spin?
I think you touched on a couple of great things there. First of all, the point that has to be underlined is this is not anything at all that is on your activity sheet. If you mention something on your activity sheet, it's only in an explanatory sense to show one highlight. You are basically zeroing in on a 500-word essay on one event, one idea. It's got to be hyper-focused. This essay is absolutely all about you, but it cannot be a biography. It cannot be a list. So if you tell a story, it needs to be to illuminate this. And I like to back up a little bit and say, what is one thing that you would want a stranger to know about you? And this stranger would be someone you're trying to impress. We kind of play the game of the college admission process. You're trying to impress these people in some way, not to show off, but to say who you are. What's one thing you'd like them to know about you? And then how do you go about showing that in the best way possible?
Yeah, I think you touched upon it, that it's a story. And when you're telling a story to a group of people, you want them leaning in saying, okay, what happened next? You don't want them saying, oh, okay, and moving along. Don't tell a story that's been told a million times. I think, for instance, a college essay about the time you ruined Thanksgiving dinner is a better essay than the time you got a 90 after studying hard on your math test and you weren't good at math. Because you have to balance between something that's interesting but not something that's overdone. And I think if you looked up college essays, you might see a lot of them talking about the same themes or the same events, when really it's your chance to be a little bit creative in your selection. Tell a story with, a rising action and a climax, but ultimately it needs to be something that illustrates something about you, why you are important, why you are significant. And even if it's such a mundane thing as ruining Thanksgiving dinner, what can we learn about you? How did you handle it? And why is that a story worth sharing?
Yeah, and when I get seniors in the fall, they always ask me or say the same thing. I didn't dig ditches in Paraguay this summer, so I don't have anything of value to share. It's completely ridiculous. You have some story that is humorous or emotional, makes people think or makes people react somehow, that'll show a lot about you. So I would say you don't have to be a quote unquote special person. You don't have to be a straight A student. This is the part of the application process that takes you away from grades. Try to show a little bit of your own personal voice. And I would say, kind of jumping around a little bit, but I would say don't Google too much. You start Googling and Googling and Googling and getting so many different ideas and samples, then it feels intimidating and hard to come up with something unique. I mean, get a seed of an idea, look at a couple samples, which we'll post in show notes on future shows, if not this one, and then go from there. But start going backwards and saying, what do I want the college to know about me?
And I think also, if you are going to do any reading whatsoever, don't read necessarily college essays. Read some memoirs. Read some narrative essays, and there are plenty out there. The one that comes to mind right now, with the death of Maya Angelou, is Maya Angelou's memoir. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. You can take any number of chapters from there and get a good story. One that jumps to mind, I believe it's from Caged Bird, is Champion of the World, which is an incredible. It reads like a short story, but what is it? It's a narrative essay. It could be a college essay if Maya Angelou were applying to college or needed to apply to a college. I mean, she's certainly exceeded our educations, but
I'm with you, and I actually have a recommendation here. I'm going to go visual on you. Boom. An encyclopedia, I don't know how close we have to get, an encyclopedia of an ordinary life. This is by a woman named Amy Krauss Rosenthal. If you want to go a little outside the box, this is a great summer read. She organizes it alphabetically, and when you get to the B section, you see bad movie, bagpipers, and birthday. She'll go alphabetically down the taxonomy, and then she'll talk about what these moments meant to her. So if you took one of these, you read this a little bit, you could kind of explode a moment, and it's going to be my first ever book recommendation on the podcast, and or I don't know if this is a podcast or what this is, but on the show, and I think it's a great summer reading pick, and I think it's going to also help your college essay.
Thanks for the summer reading advice. I have not read that. I will probably walk next door after this is over and grab a copy from you. But don't be afraid to fail, and that's the first or the next bit of advice when you start writing your essay. You're not going to write the best essay that you want to in your first shot. There's a chance that you'll start new with something else. There's a chance you'll write 30 essays and not be happy with any of them. There's a chance you'll have something decent the first time and that will workshop into something better. But we can't stress enough narrowing a topic that does not appear on your activity sheet. College admissions counselors see thousands of essays, and they don't want to read the same thing over and over again. So, try some pre-writing activities, try brainstorming some ideas. Think about the stories that you like to tell the most to your friends and family. That's a good place to start. And I guess what I can add is don't try to be something you're not. Don't try to be funny for the sake of being funny. Try to write something that's really you and that really gets your voice out there.
My closing thoughts are, I guess we promised people we'd try to stay under 10 minutes. I have no idea where we are, but people have tuned out by now, I'm sure. But maybe people paused it and are coming back to watch it a second time. Let's look at the goal here. I think our goal is to have a college essay in our hands by the first day of school, right? That's the goal. Is that correct, Mr. Cooper?
That is the goal, but it's not going to be the final draft.
Yeah, so we'll talk about in future episodes what it means to have a draft, what is actually expected on that first day of school. We don't want to freak you out, but the reality of the situation is these videos are intended to help you, and if nothing else, you get something to think about this video.
All right, and unless there's anything else to add, I think we've covered the getting started part. Post any comments you have in the comments section, or any questions you have in the comments section of our YouTube channel. We will check in and respond as often as possible. Our email address is valhallaenglish@gmail.com. Our channel is youtube.com/user/Valhalla English. And keep looking up at the channel because we will post when our next broadcast will happen live, giving you an opportunity to ask us questions in real time. And hopefully this works out.
Mr. Cooper, thanks for your time. And students, we do actually like looking at these college essays. So hopefully through the summer when you have a chance to work on them, you'll come in with something that you're pretty proud of day one, and we'll kind of help you get it to the best product it could be.
They'll be the most interesting and diverse essays we read all year. So, you know, we'll have fun.
I got nothing else, Mr. Cooper. Thanks for having me on, man.
All right, this broadcast is over. Bye.